Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel, or if you're new here, welcome. We are going to, there goes my tabs. We're going to delve into One Dark Window, and this video is basically just going to be our vlog. If you've read this book before or it's on your TBR, let me know in the comments below. If you've read it, leave your rating below because I really want to know, and I want to know your favorite thing about this book. I'm just really excited. This one has been on my TBR for a very long time, almost like a year, kind of when it got popular on Book Talk. I'm really excited. I'm also reading this book for my other video, which is coming up after this. And that video is going to be, this video doesn't stop until I read a 5-star. I really think One Dark Window is going to be our 5-star read. I hear amazing things about this book. I hear a lot of people rate it very highly, a lot of 4s and 5s, so very promising. My best friend read this book and she gave it 5 stars, so I'm also excited to just read it and give it a 5 stars. And I don't know, I'm itching for a 5-star read, and I think this one's going to be it. We did start it yesterday, and I didn't record that because I read it at work, and I feel like it's kind of awkward to record at work with my coworkers there. But we are on chapter 2. I'm on my lunch break right now. I have about 55 minutes to read. I'm just really excited because just reading chapter 1, I'm already obsessed and already itching to read this. I don't know, it's just already, the world is already drawing me in. The fantasy element is already drawing me in, and the characters are just so interesting so far. So we love the Nightmare so far. He's kind of funny. But before I get to reading, I wanted to read the synopsis on the back of the book so we all know what we're reading here. It says, Elspeth needs a monster. The monster might be her. Elspeth Spindle needs more than luck to stay safe in the eerie, mist-locked kingdom of Blunder. She needs a monster. She calls him the Nightmare, an ancient mercurial spirit trapped in her head. He protects her. He keeps her secrets. But nothing comes for free, especially magic. When Elspeth meets a mysterious highwayman on the forest road, her life takes a drastic turn. Thrust into a world of shadow and deception, she joins a dangerous quest to cure Blunder of the dark magic infecting it. Except the highwayman just so happens to be the king's own nephew, captain of the most dangerous men in Blunder, and guilty of high treason. A maiden must unleash the monster within to save her kingdom in this dark, lush, gothic fantasy debut. And I'm really excited. I'm really excited to read a gothic fantasy. I don't think I've ever read a gothic fantasy before, so it is giving gothic vibes already, and it's perfect for fall. But I'm gonna go ahead and read. The lighting is trash, so don't worry about that. But Earlier you saw that I read during my lunch break at a park. It was just so beautiful, and then just having the fantasy music in the background, it was just perfect. So I read about like 20 or 30 pages during lunch. Now I'm on chapter 5. Oh, we're on chapter 5. I'm eating this up. This book is so good. I don't know why I'm hooked. We did meet, I assume, who is our tall, dark, and handsome Raven Yu. We love that. I already know I love him. You know, he's cold, emotionless, literally pushes his own, I think it's his brother or his cousin, literally pushes a boy down the stairs for her. I love him. I'm obsessed. We're gonna read a little bit more and I will update you on where I stopped tonight. It's around 8:30 right now. I just showered and we tried a little curl products. We're gonna see how it works, but we're showered, we did our skincare, we brushed our teeth. We don't have our glass of water. I will need to get that. I might have a bubbly, but we are ready to read. The only thing that we're missing is our little fantasy music, which I found a playlist on Spotify, which is perfect. But we're gonna pull it up right now because we need, I don't know about you, but I literally, me being an iPad kid, but I don't know about you, but I'm like an immersive reader. I need to just be like fully engulfed. It's called Soft Fantasy Atmosphere by Charleston. I'm gonna quit rambling. I'll see you in a little bit. I'm gonna go get my little bubbly and we're gonna start reading, okay? Okay, good morning. Hello everyone. We are almost at 100 pages. This is really what I needed. I'm eating this book up. It is so good. Yeah, I don't know why I put this off for so long. I've been reading this during lunch for the past 2 days and we're almost about to hit page 100. I haven't been reading as much as I should. I just feel like I have the desire to read, but then every time I sit down, I'm like, I just want to scroll on my phone, go on TikTok. And I actually have a love-hate relationship with TikTok. I deleted it this morning because I just feel like I'm consuming way too much media, and which is hard to say as a content creator. All that put aside, we are on our lunch break. I'm going to read a little bit of this. I'm hoping during my lunch break to get to like page maybe like 120 or 130. Yes, for those following along, wondering what's going on right now. She met Raven, who I think is Mr. Tall, Dark, and Handsome. He is the one that's literally gonna be our main love interest. And he is trying to figure out if she has magical powers because I'm also trying not to give too much away if you're gonna read this book. So basically our main character, Elspeth Spindle, is infected with kind of like what has been infecting Blunder. She's supposed to get magical powers after the infection, and typically people who get infected don't really last that long and they pass away pretty early, but she's been fine, and our main male character is really interested in that, and because he found out that she was infected, so he's asking her questions. They were like, he interrogated her for like they said like a few hours, which I think is crazy, locked up in a dungeon. Not a dungeon, but locked up in a room with him. But now she is at the ball for Equinox. She's conversing with like the prince, High Prince Hoth Rowan, and she was walking with the other dude who I don't like, Elm. But yeah, we're gonna see how this goes. I don't know, the little romantic girly in me is like, oh my gosh, to go to a ball and I really want Raven to swoop her up and be like, Miss Elspeth, may I have a dance? Oh my gosh, romantic. But anyways, I'm gonna continue reading and I'll check back in a little bit. Okay. Raven and Elspeth are in his chambers. They're talking about why he basically has one of the Providence cards. And they heard physicians talking in the hallway and literally talking about how her aunt hid her from the physicians when they were checking to see like whose families had people who were infected, so then obviously they could take them away and probably dispose of them. That sounds really bad, but anyways, I just literally this line. Raven looked down at me, some of the strain gone from his features. He slid his hand away from mine atop the latch, his warm callous thumb snagging over my knuckles. It was meant as a gesture of comfort, a quiet acknowledgement of my fear, and it was, but that did not explain why we both looked away immediately afterwards. Literally, like, I am ill. Like, why is this attractive to me? Oh my gosh. Oh, I cannot fall for another man. Okay, anyways, I have like 10 minutes left of my lunch break. Oh my goodness. All right, I'm leaving. I wanted to kind of go over why I'm fangirling so hard in this book. I just think, I don't know, I love Raven so much. I'll just read you some examples of why, and I'll give you some context. This was when they were running, he was running, I don't know, she was weeping by the mist because her sister, or not her sister, her cousin Ianthe was going to get the maiden card, and basically like maiden card and lose herself, but she literally was scared that he was going to like report her in whatever for first off magic, but second off like being infected, and he basically just kept on reassuring her like, I'll never take you there, Miss Spindle, you have my word, take you there, as in the Destriers take the infected people to like a dungeon and basically kill them all. But it says the firmness around his eyes softened. I love that. So we read basically chapter 9 and I think a little bit of 10. I don't know, I think we left off on we're on chapter 10 currently, so we did read a little bit, but I'm already hypothesizing that if Raven already has the nightmare card, that he potentially has also the nightmares abilities like in his head like she does, because I think this is the second time on page 88 that she basically said like there's a darkness behind his eyes. So just, you know, we made a little note of it. We'll see if our hypothesis is correct. Oh my gosh. This is when Elm was escorting her to dinner or whatever, and he was basically like saying, you must be very special, Miss Elspeth, because it's not often that Raven lets anyone in his confidence. And she's like, basically, what do you mean? And he said, you were alone together for hours. What's more, he's insisting you or your magic are somehow useful. Duh. And then we learned that the uncle gave up the nightmare card. Literally, why would you do that? You're dumb. As she was talking with her aunt and stuff, Alex, what's his last name? Alex Laburnum. Basically, dog has been crushing on Elspeth for a long time. Elspeth literally rejects him like every single time, and dog doesn't get the hint, and it's embarrassing. But as they were talking, she's literally not interested. She looks over and she spots Raven in the crowd, and Raven literally locks eye contact with her and walks over. Oh my gosh. He walks over to see her, and she said, "We'd only been apart for an hour. Still, I couldn't help to feel every time I saw Raven I was looking at a different man. Drawn by my gaze, Raven turned his head. His eyes captured mine, falling a moment to my dress before shifting to Alex. And for briefest of moments, I thought I saw the corner of his lips curl." I love this man does this little like smirk thing, but it's not really like a smile, but it's like the ends of his lip quirk up, and I don't know why I'm like down bad. I think that's so attractive. And then Raven like says like, "Oh, Alex, how are you enjoying your evening?" And Raven's eyes returned to me. There it was again, that near invisible smirk. "And how are you enjoying Equinox, Miss Spindle?" I'm dead. Like, anyways. And she basically was like, dog. Alex is literally trying so hard. He was like, "But I asked your father for you to sit next to me. I have his consent." She goes, "No, I already basically asked." Anyways, well, I'm gonna go in order. But basically, she was like, "There are far too many destriers in here for my liking." And Raven says, "Do you have something against destriers, Miss Spindle?" Because not all of them. I searched his face. But most. Oh my gosh. Okay. It's not giving enemies to lovers, but it's just like the little like tension is great. And she basically just said, Alex was like, "Yes, well, we should take our seat, Elspeth, my parents." And she's like, "You've been very sweet, but I told you I'd be sitting there with this evening. Isn't that right, Captain?" And he goes, "Not missing a beat." Raven goes, "Indeed. Period. That's my man. My man, you know?" Anyways, he goes, "But Elspeth, I have your father's permission." She goes, "But not mine." Yes! Get him. Okay, I feel really bad for Alex. Actually, like, it hurts my heart. He's gonna protest that. And then Raven literally gives him like a mean mug, and he's like, "All right, I'm leaving." Moving swiftly along. So he goes, "It's the nice ones you should look out for." She goes, "What about you, Captain? Are you too nice for your own good?" He watched me, something I could not read flashing in his eyes. "No, Miss Spindle," he said, "I'm not nice at all." I'm sad. Anyways, he just held his arm out her and guided her to the table. We love that. We basically know what happens at the end of chapter 9, that the nightmare card was given up. Hopefully this is not a spoiler. Please read this book. Anyways, so literally she was like, "Why did you lie?" Okay. She was not paying attention because she was taken away by her cousin's Iani's beauty from using the maiden card. She was like, "No. Oh my gosh, like that's literally I don't recognize her anymore." And basically when she wasn't noticing, but literally she said Raven's arms were stiff as he pulled out my chair. When I still did not move, his broad hand grazed my back. "Please sit, Miss Spindle. I'm dead." Anyway, so she's like, basically, "How are you gonna tell me?" Like, she was like, "You lied. The king has now 2 nightmare cards, this and that." But what she didn't know is that Mr. Highwayman, Mr. Captain of the Destriers, Mr. Raven, he's not working with the king. Anyways, we continue. She's like, "Call your counsel." Anyway, he leads her to his room. She goes, "Where are we?" "My chamber. Close the door." I don't know why that got me. Hey. I'm getting hot and bothered. Anyways, and he just shows her that he has a second nightmare card, but basically the nightmare was like he's keeping it hidden for himself. So she was about to leave, right? And she said, but before I could speak, the captain was upon me, his hand pressing down on mine, stilling the latch between my fingers. He goes, "Quiet," he urged, holding a single finger to my lips. She said, I remain blah, blah, whatever. It's physician speaking about Emery, who Raven literally threw him down the stairs. Anyways, she goes, I remained frozen, staring up at him, his fingers still pressed against my lips. It was warm, the skin rough. And this is a couple lines after. Raven lowered his gaze to my mouth. His fingers slipped off my lips, his eyes meeting mine for a fleeting glance before he looked back at the door. And though it was too dark to be certain, I thought I saw a flush slide up his neck. I love this man. He was like, have you not, have any physicians not seen you since you've been affected? She said, no, my aunt hid me. And then Raven looked down at me, some of the strain gone from his features. He slid his hand away from mine atop the latch, his warm callous thumb snagging over my knuckles. It was meant as a gesture of comfort, a quiet acknowledgement of my fear, and it was. But that did not explain why we both looked away immediately afterward. I'm eating this up. And he pulled out from his wardrobe, because he knew she was scared, pulled out of his wardrobe. Hey, he had a mystery card. She didn't even know that. But the mirror, hey, remember that card? The mirror, the one that literally makes you invisible? She was like, why do you have that? And he goes, it's for you, to sneak past the physicians. I'm in love. This man, oh my gosh, chivalry is dead. Why is my boyfriend not giving me a mirror card to hide from my anxieties? What is going on here? Yeah, so anyways, we're on 110, page 110. We'll pick up a little bit later. I do have a Halloween party that I'm going to drop my highlighter. We are going to a Halloween party tonight, so I'm actually really, really upset that I won't be able to read this book because that's how good it is. Anyways, I'm rambling, I am fangirling, and I need to leave before it gets embarrassing. Hey, so I wanted to do a check-in. We are at page 164. A lot has happened. This vlog is going to be spoiler-free, so I'm not going to go into detail about what happened, but if you've read this before and you know exactly what's happening, then you know that I'm shook. To give more context, we're following her now at the Yu's castle, and she just learned some information about Raven that is a big kind of plot point. I kind of predicted it based on the writing, but it's still a shock either way that it's actually unfolding this way. I can definitely tell that the main male character is so in love with the female character. I'm just so excited to see how their story unfolds, but also what's gonna happen, because the hunt for all the Providence cards is still happening. So I'm just curious how it's all gonna unfold and if there's actually potential action scenes, what's gonna happen. Is somebody gonna die? Who knows? But I will check back in once I've reached probably halfway. The book is 392 pages and halfway is like 196. So once I reach there, I will let you know how I'm feeling. I'm about, 30-ish pages away, so I will check back in once we're ready. And I do want to give a tab update. As you can tell, I'm really enjoying this book. Don't think I'll have time to read today, but I am feeling kind of sick, so the events that I did have planned for this weekend might be canceled because I don't want to get anyone else sick. But if it is canceled, it means I get to read, so we have to find the silver lining and everything, so. He's helping her on a horse right now. And, it just says, when Raven stepped to me, he hesitated, the flush from before returning to his jawline. Our eyes met a moment. Then, as if he was proving something to himself, he reached for me. His hands, broad and firm, met me at the dip of my waist, resting a moment on my hips. They were warm, his hands, and I caught myself wondering what the calluses along his palms would feel like against my bare skin. This book, I'm on page 193. We're gonna continue. I need them to kiss. I wanted to give a quick update on One Dark Window. I'm a little bit more than halfway. I read during lunch today, which I was just eating this up, but I did want to say something. Oh my gosh, I love this man. Anyways, so whatever, they had finished a task. I'm not going to spoil anything, but she was asked to complete a task, and she did. This man is guiding her off a horse. His fingers flexing just above the curve of my hips. They lingered there even when my feet were firmly on the ground. And he said, there will be more eyes than us than just my family in the coming days. Do you still wish to pretend? And she said, do you? And she says, I felt the resistance in his pause. He too lost to the world of things unsaid. Of all the things I pretend at all, he said, his thumb drawing small, gentle circles along my waist. Courting you has proven the easiest. I love this man. And then a little bit, like 2 pages later, she had like broken her hand. I'm not gonna explain why. Anyways, he's like looking at her hand that got injured. And he said, but you're not easily frightened, are you, Miss Spindle? She said, Elspeth, I reminded him. His nose wrinkled, the corners of his mouth lifting, my chest constricted, watching him smile. Some things frighten me, I said. The king, physicians, destriers. Raven tilted his head. All destriers? You better stop. Stop. This man is so good. Anyways, yeah, we are enjoying it thoroughly. I think I am really sad to potentially know that this has an end. I mean, obviously there's a second book, but like, there ain't nothing on the first book, you know? Like, how is she gonna follow this book up? But anyways, I have the energy to read, so I'm gonna read. The past few nights with the time change and everything, I've just been feeling very unmotivated, tired, but tonight is the night. Tonight is the night that we read. So I will come back with an update. I am thoroughly enjoying. If you haven't bought this book already, if this book is not already in your cart, girl, do me a favor, add it to your cart. This is giving ultimate fall vibes, magical fantasy, love. It's giving Mr. Darcy Pride and Prejudice type love. So I'm loving it. And dare I say, if I may say, I think I like Raven more than I like Rhysand from ACOTAR. I said it, and I'm gonna leave you on that note. Hold up. Okay. A lot has happened. They just kissed. This has been the best kiss scene I've seen in a while. Excuse me? Like, this man has no reason to be this fine. Let me entertain you. When he leaned in closer, I closed my eyes, his mouth a whisper from mine, his voice caught at the edges. Is this you pretending, Elspeth? He said, the tip of his nose grazing mine. Because if it is, his breath stirred my eyelashes. You're very good at it. Like, no better than you, Captain. And he put her hand on his chest and says, does this feel like pretend? You're joking. And then something interrupted the kiss scene, which is boo, but oh my gosh, finally, I would, like, how am I gonna annotate an entire kiss scene? It was so good. The entire thing is good. Tab. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh, I am so down bad for this man. He is so hot. Anyways, I guess I'm gonna go highlight the entire page. I kind of predicted, so we're on chapter 22. I kind of predicted the twist early on in the beginning of the book, just by how the nightmare was talking. But the plot twist has been revealed, and not plot twist, or I guess like a major plot point has been revealed. And I knew. I didn't know the little riddle, you know? And if you've read this book before, open to page 251, that little riddle at the bottom of the page. Yeah, I didn't know that part. I knew that the nightmare was, you know. But this book is great. I'm like, I don't want to go to work. I want to keep on reading and finish the whole thing because I'm like, what is going to happen now? You know, what else? I have another hypothesis, if you will. I'm just wondering if, because the nightmare's in her head, does she have abilities of all 12 cards? That's something I'm thinking about. Don't know what's going on, but hopefully we will uncover some more information. But we love Raven. I think like my heart yearns for him. Yeah. This is why reading books literally makes me so upset, because it's like, this man is not even real. And I have just like, it's weird. This is weird. I have mental illness, I guess, but I literally, this man is just like, I'll take one. I'll take one. Credit, please. Credit card. Yes. Thank you. It's like 9:30 at night. I literally have like 17 pages left. It's getting so good. I'm at the edge of my seat. I have been absorbed into this last 100 pages. I am just so excited to see what is gonna happen. What's going on? What's going on? We finished the book. It's been a few days. I had to let my thoughts sit for a little bit before I come back here and tell you my final review. And the final review is that this is a 5-star for me. What made it a 5-star was just that the story was captivating. I honestly couldn't put the book down, even though I did read it over a long period of time because I literally just did not have time. But every time I did pick up this book, I didn't want to put it down. And if I did have to put it down, I was thinking about when I'm gonna read it next. Do I think this is work of a literary genius? No. Do I think there are good lines in here? Absolutely. I think the writing was very captivating. I don't know what it is. It's the same thing with the Light Lark series. The writing just hooks you in. I do think this is my preferred romance. I don't want to say type, but the way the romance played out in this book is the way I prefer romance in the books that I read, where it is definitely a slow burn. He falls first. And I do prefer more of like a Pride and Prejudice love, you know, like a Mr. Darcy, a brush of the hand, you know, the longing gazes. Like, I love that. It just, to me, it just speaks more than having a kiss scene, you know what I'm saying? I love the romantic tension. So, anyways, I think this book was great. I wouldn't say it's like extremely gothic fantasy. To me, it just felt like a regular fantasy, honestly. I think the fantasy element with the Providence cards, them trying to uncover the mystery of the mist and the woods, the spirit of the woods. I thought all of that was well done. This book does leave you on a cliffhanger, so I do have 2 Twisted Crowns, so I really want to pick up the second book because something traumatic happens with Elspeth at the end of the book that it leaves the reader uncertain of what's going to happen to her and how it's all playing out. So basically the huge mystery that they're trying to solve, the spirit of the woods and the Providence cards and, you know, how to eradicate this infection, this doesn't get solved in this book, which I wasn't expecting it to, but at the same time I kind of was. I don't know why. It's kind of how A Court of Mist and Fury leaves you before you read A Court of, what is it, Wings and Ruin. The same cliffhanger as that. You're like, huh? I do think I loved, again, this is a long-winded answer to say this is a 5-star. I love it. Love the fantasy, love the romance, love the writing style. I think the writing style was so my speed. I do think because they speak kind of, I wouldn't say they kind of speak in Old English, but sometimes they speak in older English. And then when the dialogue changes to like saying the F word or just cursing in general, it just kind of takes me out. But I feel like a lot of fantasy books nowadays do that. I will say, before we end the vlog, this has no map, so it was kind of difficult picturing where everyone lived. But other than that, I really had to use my thinking skills to imagine the world. Thank you for watching my vlog. I hope you enjoyed this chaotic mess of a vlog, and I hope you enjoyed learning a little bit about One Dark Window, and I hope it leads you to reading the book because this is very interesting. And yes, I did match with my book, unintentionally though, and my bet set. Thank you for coming. Look out for the next vlog that's coming up soon, now that we wrapped this one up and it's a 5-star. Next book will be Nightbane by Alex Aster. It's the second book of the Light Lark series. I will see you later. I hope you have a great day and love you. Bye, besties.